I'm gonna mainly focus on this main event because this is a fight that we've been waiting for a long time. We've been waiting for people to say Teofimo been wanting all the smoke. Teofimo's had big name fights, but everyone's been saying Shakur the best. Shakur's pound for pound. Shakur's one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. Shakur's of that Floyd ilk. And we've been waiting to see it. And we have seen it, but we have been waiting to see it against elite competition. And this is the first big name that we get. The chat says Teofimo sleeping him. Yeah, I doubt that, buddy. Teofimo don't have that same power at 140. If it was 135, it'd be a different scenario. But Teofimo is moving up to 140 for the first time. Um, so yeah, a lot of variables in this fight that could sway your prediction one way or another. But I'll just quickly go through some of the undercard fights. I'm gonna go Carlos Adames. I'm gonna go Shushu Carrington, and I'm gonna go Keyshawn Davis. Make it pretty simple. We going all favorites. I'm not gonna try to, you know, throw a hot take out there. I think most of that stuff should go as planned. Shushu Carrington, Adames, Jarrell Miller versus Kingston could be fun, but not the most excited about that. Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz is the one I'm really excited for because Keyshawn Davis has been out of the ring for a while. He had where he missed the weight. The fight was canceled, and then they jumped the dude in the locker room, and then he was suspended. He hasn't fought for over a year now, I'm pretty sure. So excited to see what he does now at this new weight class and after all this time off. But I think that he should be able to get it done. Jermaine Ortiz is a guy we've seen up against top competition. Pretty sure he's fought Teofimo. I think he's fought Lomachenko as well. And presented a good challenge in both of those fights. Neither one of them stopped him, so he fought well, lost both, but I think Davis should be able to style on him and win this fight by decision. But now, like I said, this is what we're going to focus most of this video on. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. I believe this fight is of this generation. I've broken down who is the best of this generation. Who is people try to do the kings of this generation like we had in the last era where it was, Sugar Ray, Hagler, Hearns, Duran, the four kings. They wanted to present the four kings of this generation, and it was really a debate of who the four kings were of this 35 and 40 weight class. Was it Tank? Was it Ryan? Was it Haney? Was it Shakur? Was it Tio? Who was it? Who's really the best? Who's really the best? And these guys have floated all around each other. By the way, I don't think Ryan's on that level at all. But now that he beat Haney, everybody wants to put him up there, even though, got busted. Pretty much lost every round that he didn't get a knockdown in. So don't get me started on Ryan Garcia. Anyway, I think the Four Kings, even though Tank is on a clown show right now too, I think his career might be over. So it might round out to be Teofimo, Shakur, and Devin, really. The three-headed monster there to see who's really that one of this generation. And man, I don't know. I really don't know. When I look at this fight, I got so many thoughts. I got so many. I've gone back and forth as the fight continued to get closer. And in the past, I thought Teofimo was maybe the best of this generation, but some of his up and down performances, the lack of power he's shown at 140, it makes me think he's not as complete of a fighter at 140 as he was at 35. Because, like I said, to make an elite fighter, I always think that there's three big factors that an elite fighter probably needs to have at least two of them to be considered elite, which is skill, obviously, which is a very broad term, but skill, chin, power. Skill, chin, power. Three huge factors when it comes to a fighter. I always thought Teofimo had the skill. Teofimo has the chin. And he always had the power, too. I looked at Ryan Garcia. He had the power. Skilled, a little bit. Chin, pretty good. But didn't have the full package. Look at Shakur. Skill, yes. Chin hasn't been tested a lot, but yes. Power, not really there. So he's got 2 of the 3. Then I looked at Tank. Underrated skill. A lot of people think he's just a brawler, a bruiser that's going to knock you out, but underrated skill. Great power. Seemed to be a great chin that we've seen. Maybe he was the full package. And I always thought whoever had the closest to having all 3 would end up being the best of this generation. It could be Tank, it could be Teofimo. Maybe that's the boss battle in the end where these 2 guys clean out everybody else and they're the closest to being the complete fighter. But then the more and more I get there, I think maybe you don't need all 3. What if one of the 3 is so high that you don't even need the other 2 as much? What if Shakur's skill is so far superior that the lack of power and the fact that we haven't seen his chin really tested won't even matter? What if he's just so skilled that he never even has to show the other 2? And I think that actually has been the conclusion to his career so far. And I think that's what a lot of people are predicting with these odds coming out, with a lot of these experts that I've seen give their predictions. They think that, he doesn't have the power. He's coming up to a new weight class, but he is so generationally gifted as a defensive fighter, as a, with a sharp jab to keep people off of him. It's just a slick, that slick American black boxer style. He's such a master at that it does not even matter. Does not even matter. The lack of power will not matter in his career. And maybe that's true. Maybe we won't really see the effects of that till he's later in his 30s when his reflexes start to slow down, and then, guys are able to walk him down a little bit more. But I think right now, in the peak of his powers, in the peak of his career, he can stand on that. He can stand on that superior skill and be that number 1 of this generation at his weight class and in that 35, 40, range. And I think he can. But I also think that some people are sleeping on Teofimo, man. Teofimo on his best night, man, this is a hard night out. This is a hard night out. We saw what he did to Josh Taylor. We saw what he did against Loma, even though Loma had a very lackluster performance for those first, 6 rounds. Came back in that second half of that fight, shifted the fight, started to put it on Teofimo, but Teofimo showed heart to come back and win that 12th round. So Teofimo's nobody to, to scoff at. Nobody to be taken lightly. Nobody to think that it's going to be easy. But I do think that Shakur, skill for skill, is so damn good that those other intangibles that he lacks will not matter in this fight. And I do think it will be a close fight. I do think that Teofimo will have moments. I think it'll be a close fight early. But when Shakur really starts figuring them out and really starts, letting his offense go, I think he's going to be very defensive early. But when he starts figuring Teofimo's range out, figuring Teofimo's patterns out, I think he's going to start laying his offense on, and it's going to frustrate Teofimo. And I think that's when he'll really build a lead in the second half of this fight. And I think Teofimo wins. Oh, Shakur wins by, I think, unanimous decision. I think it'll probably be something like an 8-4, 7-5 type scenario. I'd probably lean towards 8-4. I think Teofimo may take, of the first 6 rounds, he'll take, 3-4 in the first 6, and then maybe 1 on the back half. He'll sneak 1, but I think he'll win 4 or 5 rounds max. And I think Shakur Stevenson styles on him, man. I don't think either guy's getting knocked out in this fight. Like I said, Teofimo's power has not been the same at 140. He's not a one-punch threat. To the guys that he's fought so far, maybe he'll come out guns blazing and really want to test Shakur's chin. But Teofimo's a counterpuncher just like Shakur's a counterpuncher. So I think this may cause a bit of a stalemate. I think it may cause a little bit of a slow start, and it may even cause to a lot of people, to a lot of the casual audience, a boring fight. If you're not a boxing hardcore, I think that's why this, a lot of people that are boxing fans, a lot of people that are boxing fans are wondering why this is not crossing over, wondering why the hype for this is not as big, wondering why the promotion and the publicity has not been like mainstream enough. I think it's because the mainstream audience is not gonna probably love the product that this fight puts out. This is a fight nerd, fight technical, hardcore fans type of fight, and I think it'll be great for the hardcores. But I do think that it could have very long, lulls in the action where not much is going on because both guys are, counter strikers that love to counter and love to, you know, they love to have a guy that's going to come at them. And neither one of them are really guys that are just going to walk somebody down. Unless Teofimo, I think Teofimo, maybe it'd be wise to try that out. Maybe try that out for a couple rounds. Why not? Why not? Everybody says Shakur has no power. Why not? Try to walk him down then. Try to walk him down. I think Teofimo's crazy enough to do that. Teofimo's mentally tough enough to do that, to know that that's not his style, but this dude's different, so I'm trying anything. I would be very, very, we will learn a lot about Shakur if Teofimo decides to go against his counterpunching style and try to all of a sudden walk people down. Did you watch the conference today? No, I haven't watched it all yet. I haven't watched it all. I watched the face-to-face. I watched Teofimo's interview like on some podcasts with the Akabarak podcast on All the Smoke. I watched that, but I haven't watched the full press conference. I'm gonna watch it, but yeah, man, I'm very interested in this fight. It's gonna be a fun technical fight. Like I said, a fun fight to score. It's gonna be hard to score, but I think in that back half, Shakur will take over and Shakur will win by decision. Let me know what y'all think. Drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. We will be live for the fights on Saturday. We'll be live for this and the UFC fights. So make sure y'all come through. Check us out. Most definitely. Appreciate it. There we go. Clipping that right there. You think T.O. got it? What do you think? How you think T.O. gets it? You think T.O. by decision? I have seen the odds. I have seen the odds for Teofimo by decision. If you are a betting man, and even me who thinks that Shakur will probably take it, as a betting man, Teofimo Lopez plus 240? Plus 240. That's a little bit disrespectful. That's a little bit disrespectful. I think this fight could be close, and I think Teofimo has it in him to make it ugly, where it's very hard to score. He got the whole Stevenson side mad as fuck. Hey, I saw the face off where Teofimo's just straight up mad dog staring him down. Shakur's talking to shit. It's been surprising that Teofimo has been a little bit more reserved. Y'all remember Teofimo, all of a sudden, he was a very serious fighter all his career. Then these last couple of fights, it's almost like he saw what Ryan Garcia did against Haney, just act crazy, and then he decided to start acting like that. But for this fight, he's been very chilled out. He's been very chilled out. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, I know that it means that he's locked in, but I don't know. Will it mean a lot in the fight? I could very well see it. Like I said, I could very well see this going anyway. Do you like Little Caesars, bro? That came out of left field, but yeah, I like Little Caesars on occasions.